state. So this looks like a nice, beautiful scramble. So how do we do this? Well, the first step is I would place these guys first. That's what I do with all of these puzzles. With all of these puzzles, I place these guys here, here, and here. And the Akosiaks here, here, and here. And this guy over here. I place this, this, and this. Well, so too what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by placing these guys. Now, in the Eitan star, what I did is I placed these of the same color, which happen to be on the same side. The problem here is that these that are of the same color are not on the same side. So if I were to do that, I'd place these guys. So you could do that. You could solve it exactly the way that you would do here and just start putting these in, letting the corners guide you. But that might be kind of difficult. It might be kind of complicated. So my suggestion is go ahead and put these of the same color as though you're solving this as a side, bearing in mind that it's not a side. So if we're to start off with a green, here's a green over here. And I'm just going to kind of intuitively place things where they belong. So I've got this guy here, and I'm just going to move him kersplat. So this green is over here. Now there's a down, down, up, up algorithm, and what that does, if you run into any issue, is this, and this will 3-cycle. This will go to here, this will go to here, and this will go to here. And all you have to do that, pay attention to where the white one is going. I'm going to go down over here. Oh, we're snagging. Where am I snagging? Let me pause and find where I'm snagging at. This is a bad, no, that's not that bad. So we've got down, down, up, up. So it went here. So basically, this went in this direction here by starting in this direction over here. So if I had to do that, I could do that in a pinch. Okay, so let's say I wanted to move it into here. So I want to move this into here. Well, this is going to participate into this area, so this is in the same side as this center, so I'm just going to move it over here. Then we have down, down, up. I'll move it over here, up. So now this is it. So let's find another green. Here's another green. Let's say I want to move it into here. So I'm going to try to move the green here or here in order to do that. So it's just a matter of finding what direction I can move this to get it closer to the area that I want. Okay, so now this is around this area, so it can come into here by being placed over here. So I simply rotate this in this direction. This will go here, down, down, up, up. All right, so that's in the final green. Look around for it, it's over here. To get it in, it has to be in this position. So to move this to here, what I can do is just find the area as I orbit it around that can easily move in that direction. So bang. So now this is in the proper center to come to here. Move it up here, down, down, up, up. Okay, so I've got all these guys in. So now I have to find out what goes where. I'm going to let the corners guide me here. So here's a corner. It doesn't really matter which one I use. I'm just going to move this into where it's got to be. So notice I got to rotate this where the white one is. So I'm going to move it out of the way, rotate it where the white one is, and for splat, bring it back. Now what I could do is I could just continue to move corners in like that. Now I can define where these are going to be. Now these are going to be taken out eventually, so we don't have to worry about that. However, I want to put these guys in now. So this is going to be the peach, or the beige. So let's find one and put it in anyone here. Another beige. Be careful about the colors. This is not the same color. That's a yellow. So here's a couple of beiges. So I'm going to try not to move the corners out. If I do, that's okay. Like I say, the goal was not to put those in. So what I'm looking for is, let's move it into here, which means I want to move a beige one into this area. So I move it into the proper center, rotate it, and now we can move it here. Now if I do that, I'm going to move this one out, right? Well, no problem. I'll just take this whole set, move it down. Move it down, so now this will participate in the algorithm, and it doesn't really matter. So down, down, up, up. So now this is in, and I simply move it up like here, bang. Now notice I move this corner out, but at this point, that's fine. I'm not trying to retain it, I'm just trying to get all the centers. So now this is here. I know that the beiges are supposed to be here, so that's what I'm going to continue to do. This beige, well, let's see, what I want to do, I'm going to try not to move this one away, only because this is guiding me that the red one's supposed to be here. However, I'm running into trouble getting this out of the way. I'm just going to move this out of the way, take this out, and for now, we can move this back in. So where did I put the beige? I put it right here. I'm looking to get it to here, which means I want to get it to here. To get it to there, I just move it so that I can put it in the proper center. Right here, now it's in the proper center, so this will come to here. This won't participate. Okay, so we'll go, oh, something snagging here, down, down, up, up. So we're good there. And once more here. One more, if we could find it right over here. This has to wind into this area here. Well, actually not one more than one more. This will come here, so down, down, up, up. So far pretty straightforward, nothing too shocking and exciting. So this over here. We're going to try to move this into position to here. What I'm doing is I'm trying to get this into this, or to get this into this side here. This is right next to it, so I'm just going to move it further away. And then I can find a way to wind it into here. So that means rotating this and then winding it into the side here. Once I do that, I can wind this over here, this to here, this to here, this to here. So down, down, up, up. Okay, so in and in. You can see we've all but destroyed most of our corners, but that's okay. I've got enough here to go by. So I can tell that the blue is going to be here. So that's going to be light blue like this one, not dark blue like this. So finding some light blues, such as this guy over here. And what I want to do is maybe move him into here. These guys are going to be participating in that. So before I do something like that, maybe what I'll do is I'll just position him to here. This guy, where can he potentially go? Now let's see if I put him here. Now let's see, I can try to move him into this place or this place over here. Okay, this, how about we focus on this guy here? So let me move him out. Oh, we're snagging here somewhere, something for me to, oh, false alarm. Okay, I want to move something into here. So is there a blue one that I can move in? Well, here's a blue. Let's see if I can't move this guy into this side. That would be moving him out of the way. Orbiting it around, moving it here, orbiting it here. So this to here, this to here, this to here. Down, down, up, up. Okay, we've got these three. Now this, let's say we want to move him to here, which means I've got to take this and move it to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it out of this area. To move it to this side here, or around this center, I've got to take this and we'll move it so that it's further away. Once it's further away, I simply orbit this until I can find the proper position to where I can move it into this side. So right here. So it's in this side, which means now it can end up here if I simply rotate this in this position. So we've got down, down, up, up. So we've got one more to go, which is here. So it's the blue one over here. Thought I saw it's right over here. So what's the best way to do that? Well, I can't move it in from here, here, and here because, well, these guys are participating. So instead, I'm going to let this one move in from here. So this to here, this to here, this to here. So if I take this blue and move it to here, then we're cooking. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm putting them here. Now as you can see, this is going to participate, but that's okay. I'm going to take this and rotate him here, if I can. Okay, by rotating it here, I'm not going to touch these guys at all, but I will move this into this position. So this to here, this to here, and this to here. Down, down, up, up. As you can see, this is in. Did not touch these guys at all, so I simply swing this guy back. That was close. Okay, so what I have is I've got this in, and this in. Now my suggestion is keep this as your top and keep orbiting around. Okay, so taking a look at things now, once again we've got our green here, we've got this in, this in, this in. We're down to the last three centers over here. So this is going to be a matter of positioning and repositioning. Purple, opposite purple, I just know is pink. We could do that one, or we could just do the green one. We know that opposite green is green, so it doesn't really matter at this point. So why don't we do that? It's all going to be setups and algorithms at this point. But like I say, you've got to come to love that. So to move this into here, I'm looking at this. So this is sort of a gimme. This is automatically in, so that's good. So we've got down, down, up, up, so that's it. Okay, how about this guy? Or this guy? Let's see, well, this happens to be here, so this can come into here, and this isn't even been done yet, so down, get in there, down, up, up, and that was the first piece that popped after the modification. All right, so this is in. Now I got to get the final green one in. So I think what we're going to have to do is take this green and just kind of move it away from where it's at. The way that I'm going to do that is, why don't we move it over to here? That will allow it better to come into this position. So if I hold it over here, this green will come here. This will participate with the algorithm, which is not what we want. So what if I take this, move this to this place? I've got this white one participating, so I'm going to take this blue and I'm going to move this down. So again, there's been a lot of constructing and reconstructing, so we just have to bear in mind. So I'm just going to turn this over to here. I just got to remember to turn it back. And what's going to guide me is this white one. This white one's going to have to turn me back. So we've got, yeah, actually we'll go ahead and end up moving it here. So we've got down, down, up, up, and then again, down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. Okay, this white one guides me back, and then this can pop over to here. Okay, so we're good. We like where this is because now this can easily enter here. We just don't like it in conjunction with this. So how can we move that out? Well, we got to move something else in. So how can we do this? Well, why don't we take this, move it up to here. That's still going to participate there. Move it up to here, which is another move. Nope. Okay. So what's the quickest and best way of moving this to here? Well, why don't I take this, move this up to here. Okay, so that's fine, but I don't want this orange participating, so I'm going to take this Okay, let me keep track of what's going on. I gotta get this, move this to where the pink is. So this will move up here. I'm gonna take this pink and move this down. So I just have to remember to move this back this way in a counterclockwise way. So I'm gonna do my algorithm, down, down, up, up, like this in a counterclockwise way, and then this moves back down. Okay, so we've got this in and we're down to our last two over here. What goes where? Well, purple goes opposite pink, blue goes opposite blue. So we can focus on putting the blue ones in here. And this is where all of our positioning and repositioning is going to come in handy. So this can move into here quite easily. We don't like this green participating, so we have to somehow move something else here. The way that I can do that by that same technique is for this to move in this position. I'm going to move this up here. We don't like any of these participating, so I'm just going to move this down like so, kersplat. Just have to remember to move this back so that the grays can match up. So move this here. So we've got down, down, up, up, move my grays back, and now we can get ourselves back before we get too lost. Okay, so that's it. So now what else? Well, let's see. What else can go where? We're going to try to move this blue into here, perhaps. How can we do that? Well, let's see. Oh, perfect. This to here. However, we don't want this to participate, so I can move this like so. Now, I've got any one of these blues can participate, but is that fine? This to here, this pink will go to where a blue is, and I don't want to substitute a blue for a pink. But if I do it twice, basically what I'll be doing is I'll be cycling one of these other blues here. Actually, I can cycle this blue in. So I'm going to move this over here. That moves this orange, this yellow out of the way. So now I'm going to take this. This one is not in the side anyway, so I'm going to move this down to here. So just remember, the yellows are going to move back here, and I'm going to move this to where this is. So that's down, down, up, up. Remembering that the yellows have to be the ones that move back, and then I get the yellow back in. Okay, so that's good. That moved this in, so now we have one final one to do. Flip-flopping these guys. So how are we going to do that? Well, gosh, let's see. This is where we're going to have to do some fancy footwork here. And again, I welcome you to try whatever technique you want to do. It's really just a matter of positioning, but you want to look to see how to position things. So these are going to cycle. So where can I put it to allow for that 3 cycle? So this is where we're going to have to sort of follow with it. I can take this pink and move it to this side, so to speak, this center area, by just bringing it up to here. So then by turning it, I can move it into position to do the algorithm. Now I've got this this yellow rather, that has to go back here, so I can follow my way home pretty well once I get it back to here. But I'm going to keep winding down that path. So ultimately what I need to do is I need to have another blue or pink participate in the algorithm. So I'm going to move this to here. Then I'm just going to move this to here. So now the red one is going to be my breadcrumb to get me back home. So what I need to do is I need to actually find a way, because this pink is going to have to go here, to get another blue one in that situation. Well, once I get it back to here, the red breadcrumb is going to take me back. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this beige, and I'm going to move that one out. So I've got these opposite here. All I got to do next is take this pink and move it down to here. So I'm going to turn this down here, and I got to get this blue over to here. So we've got down, down, up, up. Okay, that blue is here. Now having done that, I've got to get back what I took out. So we'll move this back over here. This back over here. I'm going to take this beige. I'm going to move this back. Just like we said, you can see this is all in here now. Now where were my breadcrumbs? Well, this red was a breadcrumb as I recall, so this moves back over here, leaving this yellow to come back over to here. So at the end of this, all of that is solved. So we've got basically all these centers in here. So really it was just a matter of positioning. As long as you remember the positioning of the algorithm and ways that you can kind of get them in the right side and then rotate that down, that allows this part to be done. The hardest part was those last few centers.